Hey, what's going on, guys? It's that time again where I do my quarterly ranking of the best releases of the year. So right now we are in March and we've had about 13 new releases in the men's fragrance designer community. And so I wanted to go through and rank my top 5 favorites so that we can kind of get that out of the way and move our way into the next batch of fragrances, because we have a little bit of a lull here in March, and I think the next releases will not be coming out until the end of March, early April. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. For those of you who are new to my channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, as well as hit the bell if you want my videos sooner. And then also follow me on Instagram and TikTok if the fancy really hits you. So today, again, I wanted to go through. I'm taking a 2-week hiatus, as you guys all know, just so I can hang out with my family, spend time with them. And in the meantime, because we did have a lull in the new releases in the fragrance community, I wanted to go back and take a look at the 12 or 13 releases and give you my top 5 so far this year. Everybody else might have their own top 5. I totally understand that, but I just wanted to give you my top 5 based on what has been released so far. There is one fragrance I do want to let you know, and I'll let you know as I'm going through this list, that would be in the top 3, but I don't have a full bottle of it and my decant is completely empty, so I will mention that, but I'm going to be putting something else in its place because of it. So let's just get straight into it here with number 5. So number 5 is going to be a fragrance that is the best in the line, per my point of view. The one that came out before it had a great and a much better opening, but with that said, the dry down was just a mess. The original wasn't bad. This one is kind of like an updated version of the original, and then the parfum was just not good. So this one is by Carolina Herrera. My number 5 pick is Bad Boy Extreme. So the bottle is really cool. I know some people call it tacky. It is what it is. So the original Bad Boy was that cocoa and tonka, but it wasn't really heavy on the cocoa and tonka outside of like the opening 2 minutes, and then it became more of your spicy aromatic style fragrance. This one kind of gets back to its roots, where you have that cocoa and tonka mixed in there, and the cocoa stays there for quite a long time. The tonka mixes in there later in the game. It is a semi-gourmand. I wouldn't say it's a full gourmand because there is still those spicy and aromatic tones in it. I think that if that opening to this would have stuck, because this one, the opening lasts longer, that cocoa tonka, it lasts probably 45 minutes or so. And then once you get into the full dry down, it's very similar to a more mature version of the original, just with this nicer sweetness and nicer blend. It also lasts you about 9 to 10 hours. So Bad Boy Extreme is not one that's going to project crazily. It's going to, even though it's called Extreme, it's just going to stay on your skin for a while. It's almost like a parfum. With that said, I would say that this is my number 5. It was my number 6 going into it, but again, I don't have the number 3 bottle. So that is Bad Boy Extreme. Still worth a pickup, and I'm glad I have it. Number 4 is one that I didn't like that much at first, but it kind of grew on me, and I got more compliments on this than any other fragrance in this list. But I've also worn it more times outside of the house. As you guys know, if you don't know, I work from home, and so I don't leave the house as much as I should, and I didn't really wear any of the new releases that I love outside of the house, outside of this one, which I got 4 compliments on, 2 in one day. This is by Paco Rabanne. It's Invictus Victory Elixir. So Invictus Victory Elixir, the best way to put it, it is kind of like it has a vibe, even though the notes don't say it. It has the vibe of coconut. It has that coconutty vibe that you get from Le Male or Le Male Les Parfums, mixed together with that dense tonka and sweetness that you get from Scandal Les Parfums, and then mixed with the Invictus Victory. So you put those all together, and that's what you have with this. It is a beast mode, as an elixir, just like the 1 million elixir, it's beast mode. It's weird. It's for the first like 10 minutes, it's not beast mode, but then it just spreads out and it fills up a room. I had one spray in my hand testing it out when we went to dinner, and my wife said it was all she could smell. She couldn't smell my latent. All she could smell what was on my hand. And so if you like your sweeter, more mass appealing fragrances that are really based around tonka vanilla and a coconutty vibe, then I would say Invictus Victory Elixir is the one to do it. The only drawback is that blue part of the bottle is very hard to see unless you hold it in the light. But that is my number 4, and that is Invictus Victory Elixir. I was walking into USPS, and I had a guy said, and somebody said it's probably a boxer dropper, because I had a guy say, "What are you wearing?" And then on the way out, another person came in and said, "What are you wearing?" and actually stopped me so I could write it down. So that's Invictus Victory Elixir. Going into, let's just say what should have been number 3, and then which would have pushed this to 5, and then the Bad Boy Extreme out of the top 5. I'm just going to tell you my number 3 was originally Chrome Parfum. And Chrome Parfum, I don't have a decant or a bottle anymore. I threw the sample card away. And so I do have to tell you that fragrance is amazing. It's not exactly what you would expect from a Chrome. It is kind of like your green herbal, kind of has a sweetness undertone, but it's more green and herbal, and it's one that you are going to love for the spring. I found it on News Parfums, and I do have it on the way, but it's going to take like 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that to get here. But Chrome Parfum is a completely different route from any of the other Chromes. I said it was kind of like a sweet Chrome take on Amouage Beach Hut. If you know what that is, it's almost like a minty feeling. It's green, it's polarizing, it's herbal. I really do like Chrome Parfum, but again, I don't have it, so that's non-existent. So this is my 5. That would have been number 3, but now my number 3 is one that is either hit or miss for people. You either like the style of fragrance or you don't. I personally really like it. My wife really likes this fragrance. This is by Valentino. It's Valentino Wilma Born in Roma Intense. So yes, it is just your basic kind of like bubblegummy sweet style fragrance. It has a little bit going on with it. It's almost like if you took the sea salt out of the original Valentino Born in Roma, add in the vanilla from the Yellow Dream, and then that aromatic and sweetness from the Coral Fantasy, put them all together into one bottle and add a little bit of an incensey smoke. That is exactly what you get from this. The smoke comes from the vetiver, and I believe there's incense in here, I'm not sure. But it's more of it's my favorite bubblegum sweet fragrance. I mean, there's a lot of bubblegum sweet fragrances out there, Invictus style. And when I say bubblegum sweet, someone the other day was just like, this comes from a guy who likes bubblegum sweet fragrances. It doesn't mean it smells like bubblegum. It's just a term in the fragrance world for a fragrance that is a mass appealing sweet fragrance. And so this one is going to be able to be worn by anyone from ages 16 to 45. It is very mass appealing. My wife absolutely digs it. It lasts about 7 to 8 hours, so more than any of the other ones in the line. Way more on clothes too, and it does project above average. So it's just a more intense version of a mixture of the 3 in the line with a little bit of smoke. That is my number 3. I really like it, so it is what it is. Going into my number 2, I did a video about this the other day, comparing it to the other one in the line. This one, you guys know I really like, by Lacoste. It's Lacoste Blanc Eau Intense. They did it again. Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche is still my favorite from the line, but they did a really bang-up job with this one. It's kind of like if you like the Dior Homme colognes, the commodity bergamots, those sweet, those citrus lemonade style fragrances. Well, this one is kind of like that if you added orange instead of lemon. So it's more of your orangeade style fragrance with a sharpness from the turmeric as well as some spice. So it's kind of like a spicy orangeade with a sharp turmeric in it, which is in the same family as ginger. So it's more like a sharp ginger. It has this effervescent sharpness. It has that orange that is really beautiful. And it's a nice switch up. And if you smell it from the cap, I was saying this in my video the other day, it smells so freaking good from this atomizer. I can stick my nose on this all day. It's just a sharp, really nice, well blended, high quality orange. And then you mix that together with, again, undertone of spice. And then as you get to the dry down, you get more of this like effervescent woods coming in. It's a clean woods, and it mixes in with that spice as that orange really does dissipate, and the turmeric becomes more of the main portion of the fragrance. It's nice. It's a little bit sharp. It is going to be a great summertime fragrance. It lasts about 6 hours, I would say, on average, which is good. I haven't tried it in the heat, but this is an 8.5 easily. I mean, it is going to be, after about 3 months, probably $40 on Joma Shop. I would definitely get this. If you can try it out first, definitely do that. But if you like those Dior, Cologne, commodity bergamot style fragrances, those lemonade, hot weather fragrances, then that's what you're going to get with this, but with orange and spice. It's so freaking good. That is Lacoste Blanc Eau Intense, and I still like the bottles. I still think the bottles are nice. Speaking of nice bottles, and a shocker to me that this was number one because I almost didn't pick it up this year. This one is by Hugo Boss. It is Boss the Scent Magnetic. I almost said the wrong bottle. So I'll have links for most of these below. This one you can actually get from Joma Shop right now for $56 if the sale's still going on. So definitely check my links for that, or my community tab, because I do post on there. This one was a shocker because not only did I not really love the line, I only like Private Accord, and I don't even wear it that much, even though it's good. It's that dark chocolate Maninka mixture. This one really surprised me because it just was released with 3 notes: Maninka, Brand Absolute, and Vanilla Husk. And I didn't know what it was going to smell like. And really, I'm shocked because when you first spray it on, it is a very unique dusty fruit. The dustiness isn't as dusty as what you would get from all of the other ones, as the Maninka fruit in this is more dialed down, as you get a lot of that black vanilla husk mixed with that Brand Absolute, which comes almost like a honey style fragrance note that has a little bit of this dryness as well. It is really hard to explain this fragrance because of that black vanilla husk. It's not like any vanilla I've smelled before. It's a polarizing vanilla, and that is what the main portion of this fragrance is. When you get to the dry down, that Maninka fruit all but dissipates. The vanilla husk is that main portion of the fragrance with a little bit of that Brand Absolute that you can smell. It's like a buttery honey. It's very interesting. And then you also do, as you get further into the fragrance, get some like sandalwood or some kind of woods mixed in there just to make it a little bit more creamy. There has to be some tonka bean or something in this as well. I'm pretty sure there is tonka bean because it does give it a little bit of a powdery texture. But overall, this is super unique. I love the fragrance. My wife adores this fragrance to the point where it's one of her new favorites. But yeah, that's my number one. That's Boss the Scent Magnetic. Again, we had other ones like Givenchy Gentleman Society. We had Bulgaria Rain Essence, YSLY Eau de Parfum Intense, Polo Red Parfum. All of those aren't going to make the cut because most of them are either basic, boring, or they're just not my style of fragrance. And I also know that there's going to be new ones coming out soon. Stronger With You Amber, not released yet. Azzaro Eau de Parfum. We have Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum, Prada Ocean Eau de Parfum, Ombre Leather Eau de Toilette. There's a lot of different fragrances on their way out. But as far as right now, and I know this will change because I know that these two at least are going to get kicked out of my top 5. Just knowing what's on the horizon, those two will get kicked out of the top 5. Especially as soon as the Chrome Parfum comes in, this one's out of the top 5 for sure. So with that said, that is my top 5 designer releases this year. We have nothing crazy as far as the releases. Last year there was just an abundance of greatness that came out by this point in time. We'll just have to see if anything more great comes out right now. But right now I would say that these two, as well as Chrome Parfum, are the ones that I think are must smells. You need to smell them just immediately. But outside of that, let me know what your favorite releases of the year are so far in the designer community. And again, I'll be back with another one. Thanks so much. Peace out.